He was reborn as a police officer, supposedly to be busy plotting his revenge. Yet here Kim Kyung-soo was, getting slapped in the face. Another officer berated him, calling him a motherfucker. He wondered how he had gotten into this situation. Jo Jae-youngi was on the ground, seemingly unconscious. Kim Kyung-soo looked at his reflection, his face contorted in confusion and anger. He thought to himself that he tried to kill himself. Jo Jae-youngi stood over him, furious. She asked him how he could do that to himself, telling him he was lucky the rope snapped when it did. He had been out cold for a week. She told the idiot to listen to her. She asked him if he thought that writing those bastards' names in his suicide note would solve all his problems. Jo Jae-youngi towered over Kim Kyung-soo, demanding to know what nonsense he was spouting. She revealed that he had written the names of the seniors who were bullying them in his suicide note. As a policeman, she doubted Hwang Kil-min and Hwang Young-chan, those bastards. Two senior police officers stood nearby. One of them exclaimed that this year's newcomers were terrible. One of the senior officers pointed at Kim Kyung-soo, sneering that his parents had committed double suicide after committing a crime. The senior officer questioned why he would try to follow in their footsteps, pointing out that a criminal's son had become a police officer. Kim Kyung-soo called out to Jo Jae-youngi, who responded affirmatively. From her position on the ground, she wondered if this was considered an act of rebellion, adding that she couldn't see from down there. Kim Kyung-soo responded that if that was the case, he would help her up himself. He sighed, muttering under his breath about those motherfuckers. Kim Kyung-soo thought to himself that this place was. Kim Kyung-soo was confused, wondering what was going on. Suddenly, a hand grabbed him by the neck. He gasped for air, struggling against the sudden attack. Kim Kyung-soo demanded to know what the attacker was doing, trying to pry the hand off his throat as Jo Jae-youngi watched from a distance. The attacker struck Kim Kyung-soo hard, as Jo Jae-youngi looked on with wide eyes. Kim Kyung-soo's eyes widened in disbelief. He wondered what the hell was going on, exclaiming, "Brother? What the fuck?" With a menacing glare, the attacker stood over the officer he had just thrown. He seemed to be asking himself what he just did. Other officers looked on in terror at the overwhelming power being displayed. Kim Kyung-soo was struggling to breathe, his face turning red. Jo Jae-youngi watched with a horrified expression. The situation had escalated rapidly. Suddenly, Kim Kyung-soo's name echoed through the station. Jo Jae-youngi, along with other officers, confronted him, asking if he had gone mad and reminding him that it was self-defense. One of the officers reminded him that their senior's father was a deputy assistant commissioner. He emphasized that the man held a taegyuk magumwa, a symbol of high rank in the police force. The officers told him to get home safe, saying they would miss him. Kim Kyung-soo sat down, reflecting on the situation. He thought that the police force was rotting from the inside out, which was why they couldn't catch people like him. He realized that the senior's father had a taegyuk magumwa, and questioned if that was the equivalent to a star in the army. Kim Kyung-soo thought that he should have been reborn as a high-ranking copper at least. He wondered what a copper even was, and was reminded that he was an outcast in the organization as well. But still, suddenly, a man's hand reached out towards a child standing in the rain. "Hello there," the man said. Suddenly, a bald monk reached out to a child standing in the rain, asking if he would like to come with him. The boy, face streaked with dirt and rain, stared up at him. Meanwhile, Kim Kyung-soo's expression darkened. He stood above a group of shadowy figures, their eyes glowing ominously in the dark. Back in the rain, the bald monk held up a gun, praying for salvation. Kim Kyung-soo stared down at the leash in his hand. He glanced at a framed photo on his desk. Abandoned by his parents, and abandoned by his organization as well, he had faced death. Kim Kyung-soo's expression softened as he looked at the picture. He thought that he and the person in the photo had at least one thing in common. He wondered if he should. A voice echoed in Kim Kyung-soo's mind, asking if he was ready to head out. The Gyeonggi-do Province, Cebu's police department stood illuminated against the night sky. The intricate gold decorations on the uniform glinted under the dim light. Senior Superintendent General Hong Joon sat at his desk, reviewing documents. He declared that the Waguksa sweep operation should be discarded, stating that it had been a while since they had last considered it. As Senior Superintendent General Hong Joon sat in his office, a hooded figure appeared behind him. The figure casually asked if he had been well. Hong Joon's eyes widened in disbelief. The hooded figure pressed a pen against Hong Joon's throat, suggesting they have a little chat. Hong Joon, terrified, demanded to know who he was. The hooded figure revealed himself to be Bai Guang. With a pen pressed against Hong Joon's throat, Bai Guang was ready to have a little chat. Hong Joon was clearly in disbelief. He scoffed, calling it nonsense. Hong Joon questioned if Bai Guang really expected him to believe that he had died and woken up as a police officer. Bai Guang responded that he wasn't asking him to believe it. With a sinister smile, Kim Kyung-soo made it clear that he was threatening him. Sighing dramatically, he addressed the officer as Mr. Hong. Kim Kyung-soo offered to help with the sweep operation of Waguksa. Mr. Hong was visibly alarmed by the offer. He demanded to know exactly who the hooded man was. The man in the black hoodie insisted that he was Bai Guang, addressing the officer as Mr. Bai Guang. The officer responded that it seemed like this wasn't the place to talk about Waguksa. Suddenly, the walkie-talkie crackled with static. The officer called out to Mr. Hong. Bai Guang repeated himself. Kim Kyung-soo, his face contorted with rage, made it clear that he wasn't asking for a favor. He was. The scene revealed the hallway littered with unconscious police officers. Bai Guang finished his thought, staring down at the officer, threatening him. Kim Kyung-soo stared back up at the assassin. Hey, real quick. My mom said this video would get 0 subscribers. If you enjoyed the story so far, click subscribe to watch the next part.